Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into organizing a bunch of stuff before I start listing today. So I'm just going to have you guys jump right in. So the first thing is going to be these. So I got a bunch of bulk cheap. I haven't looked at any of this stuff, so I'm going to have to organize it before jumping into it. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at these right here. Like I said, I haven't dug into this stuff. A lot of this stuff is probably incomplete. So the first thing is we have these space right here, 1889 Legion of Mars. This is by GGW. Really cool vintage thing. This would normally have a bunch of miniatures in it. Unfortunately, I think I can tell by feeling the weight that this is just going to be an empty box, but I do have the little booklet, so I can list that separately. I also have the foam, so the miniatures would come with foam. So they would normally be inside of here. A lot better if I had the miniatures, but I can still list this one. I might keep the little booklet with the box of miniatures, or I just might list it separately. Someone's still going to want this. This is a pretty vintage piece right here. Same thing right here. The box is kind of more damaged, but I think I can still sell this one. Also got another little booklet. Has more wear in the front, right over there. Not the worst, biggest deal. So this shows all the miniatures you get in it. A little bit of story. It talks about a painting guide. So yeah, people like this kind of stuff. But yeah, once again, you can tell no miniatures, which is unfortunate. All right. Next up is going to be this Arkham horror game right here. This is going to be it looks like, oh, I'm kind of, there's a lot of pieces moving around. So there's a bunch of pieces, over a couple hundred. I might have to break this apart. So the first thing I will be looking for is what edition is this? This looks like it's going to be, I don't know, I'll have to look into it later, but this is from 2005 right there. So the first thing I like to do is look for expansion pieces or promos. There's always going to be people who buy a board game, something gets lost, like a coin or a token or a resource, but they usually throw in their promos and stuff within the base game. So I'm going to look this up later online to see what promos exist and then try to hunt them down. There's a lot of times I find promos or expansion pieces, which are usually more than the board game. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. This actually looks pretty good. It looks pretty complete. It will be easy to match up the cards. So the first thing I notice is there's a rule book missing, which is not a big deal for board games. You can always look them up and download usually PDFs on different websites. So the fact that all these cards are sorted, I will actually take the time to maybe separate some of this. You can definitely see pieces go all over the place. This isn't the best board game storage container. Here's more items for the game. All right, got some more cards. So this isn't as bad as I thought. These are going to just be the tokens. I can maybe list this separately. More money tokens for the games. People will lose these bits and pieces. As you can tell, the person who had this probably lost them. These look like a lot of little monster tiles right there. Dice, I can maybe even do dice separately. I always set aside dice. It's not a big deal if people don't have them. Plastic standees for monsters. Those are always good for people that lose them. You have these loose little pieces I'll count up later. These look like miscellaneous tokens. And then these look like the investigators for the game right here. So I haven't played this one. I heard this one's really good. I will eventually get around to playing this. So yeah, I'm not sure if these, oh, here's some enemies. Yeah, these are going to be the Cthulhu-esque monsters, the insanity drivers, the Yigs, the snakes, the Cthulhu right over here himself. Yeah, so it looks like just from a glance, I am going to be missing the rule book, but I will look into this later to see if there's any promos, and I will count up the pieces. It doesn't take me too long. I play a bunch of board games, so this might take someone hours. This might take me 5 minutes, if that. All right, like I said, I haven't really gone through this box and stuff before, so let's go ahead and pull out some random stuff. Looks like there's going to be a board game board. We got some pieces here. I already know what these are, but I just by a glance play enough board games where I'm crazy like that. Let's go ahead and pull out, looks like there's a bunch of papers and stuff, maybe some rule books. I have to be gentle here. I don't want stuff popping out. So let's go ahead and go through all this one at a time. All right, like I said, I'm going into this blind. So this looks like some kind of wargaming hex map. It's a little bent, which shouldn't be a big deal. It says initiative down there. I don't know what game this goes to. There's another one right over here. I will figure out. We have this sheet right here. It says the War of the Worlds, League of Terran Nations or Terran Nations right here. These are maybe together. I'm going to keep these loose stuff together. We have this little booklet. USA East Coast, maybe that's the board game name. Tesla's Technology. This just looks like a reference chart for one of these board games, or maybe a DM screen where you lay it like that and you have hidden information beneath you. But yeah, these might go together. I will look that up later. I'm just showing you guys my first run at stuff. Axe and Arrow right here. This looks super cool. This looks vintage. Oh wow, this is from 1977, Little Soldier Games. Someone put some like love into this with some nice pencil. These rules are designed to give players the feel of ancient warfare. So we've gotten this stuff before. These are like rule sets for miniature games. Like someone probably like printed this out in 1977. They made like little rule sets, little notes here that they wanted to like add on. So like the stuff is pretty cool and people do like them. All right, next up, Alexander the Great, Rules of Play. This just looks like a rule book right over here by Avalon Hill. I don't think this one's a pretty good one if you have this one complete, but someone's still going to pick up the rule book. You can actually see that there's not many like markings on it, so that's a plus. This is like pretty good condition for something like that. Next up, a card conquest system game, Hitler's Reich right here, World War II, second edition, Rules of Play. So another military game by GMT Games. They do a bunch of military stuff. Pretty clean rule book right here. Someone will pick this up. I also just noticed by a glance on the side here that we have a like player aid card. People do like these things in all sorts of board games. It's just so you don't have to memorize all this stuff. I mean, some people do end up memorizing a lot of it, but it's just nice to have a reference when there's like a debate or an argument. Oh, here's a player aid card 1. I can either put like the 2 8s together or all 3 stuff together. I'll probably do like it together. But yeah, I'll look up to see what like a complete thing looks like. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited for this stuff. Right here, Squad Leader. Really cool stuff. If you can get a complete Cross of Iron, this says second edition. This is just a rule book. This is definitely a well-loved rule book. It's still useful, has all the charts. There's not too much like, what are they called? Like markings on them from the previous owner right there. So this will probably go separately. This, I'm actually not too sure. Well, this is for a Squad Leader, but I'm not sure which one. It's a quick reference data card. Some of these like, this one over here has infantry tables. So like I might have to list these separately and do my best to figure out what game it's from. But because I've never played Squad Leader, there's so much out there. I'm going to have to read all these tiny texts to see if there's like a word I can look up that will help me identify them. Next up, GI Anvil of Victory, another board game rule book. It says book number 4. This is probably also for Squad Leader, maybe Advanced Squad Leader. Yeah, that definitely looks like it as well. A little bit of markings. So this one's probably just gonna be listed separately. Crescendo blooper. Crescendo of Doom. One of those. All right, book number 3 right here. I don't know if that, it looks like someone stamped it on, or I don't think that's naturally there. So these are probably like the orders of the Squad Leader stuff when they came out. So I could even lot them all together if I want, but I'm probably gonna do separately. I will make note of these little markings. It looks like there's a little like, I don't know, dry liquid damage or something. Doesn't seem like the biggest deal. But yeah, still relatively clean. More and more of these data reference sheets that I'm going to have to like figure out which ones they go to. Just piles them. I might even just do all of them, take good pictures of them. You get 24 pictures, so I can do front back of up to 12 of them. All right, this one over here, Crescendo of Doom. So that one I could either do separately or put it with the book right there. There's more of them. I'm not sure, Crescendo of Doom, if this is going to be like a different one. They look the same, but there's a lot of numbers going on in these. So it's I'll figure that out later. Squad Leader, this one's 3rd edition, book number 1 right there. Obviously, people care about editions. Oh, this one like took some pencil mark and did like some squigglies on it. You can still read it. It looks probably worse on camera than it is in person, but still, this person made a note for whatever rule this was. To maybe they had an argument with someone. Maybe they want it clarified. All right. Next up, we have this rule set. Saratoga 1777. This is a 1974 Rand Game Associates rules with some tokens. I'll see if this is like complete or something. But yeah, this is like right up my alley. Even if it's not complete, I will lay out all the tokens so they can see what's there. Sometimes these are hard to figure out, like if the tokens are complete, because like the back of the board game or the rules will be like, oh, there's like 200 plus tokens or 100 plus tokens. They usually have to like find on internet websites where people have actually said like this is the exact count of them. But yeah, that's pretty solid right there. All right, a bunch more of these different data cards. The only one that has a name is Crescendo of Doom right over there. Bunch of reference cards. So yeah, oops, almost went through the crack right there. All right, Cross of Iron, 3rd edition book right here. Another Squad Leader thing. People like this type of stuff. Rule book. This one has like some neat highlights right over there. So Yeah, pretty neat. It's not a big deal, but I do have to like let people know that they're going to get something that has slight highlights. They probably wouldn't care because it looks like the person just highlighted like the start of each rule set, which is a nice thing to highlight. Next up is going to be something different than the squad leader. We have these are going to be bits and pieces for, I think it's called Cthulhu Wars. So this might be an expansion. You play big Cthulhu monsters. You have cultists. You're trying to get like experience points, not experience points, trying to get like cultist points or something like that. That's how you win. Think of like a Risk game, but like a territory control, but Cthulhu style. The game normally has miniatures. This just looks like it's gonna be like the little board and cards for maybe an expansion. This stuff can go for a lot depending on like what it is, what expansion. The base stuff's probably not gonna be as good as the expansion. But yeah, this game was expensive just out the gate. So yeah, I just happen to know. I've never played it, so I can just tell. Just I've seen it before, right? So all right, next up we have this board right here. Let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Well, it says right there, but I already Doomtown Reloaded. I played this game for a little bit when I was playing Netrunner. So this is going to be like a board game version. I want to say Fantasy Flight Games made Reloaded, which was just like a new version where you get the player mats. The starter set, they won't have these living card packs or living card game that they trademarked, where they were going to constantly make expansions. You didn't have to worry about booster packs. You've seen me sell Doomtown stuff, but you've seen me sell like the RPGs, you've seen me sell miniatures, and you see me sell the different various collectible card games. So yeah, this is kind of like the board game version. These are just the boards for the players. So this is probably just like a listing itself. Two of these right there. All right, let's see what we have next. So this is going to be different than nerdy stuff. This just happened to be in the box. When I get a bunch of stuff, I just like throw it all into boxes as neatly as I can to go through it like I am right now showing you guys. So we got this. We also have another nerdy thing. This is going to be World in Flames, the final edition. So let's go ahead and go through both of these real quick. All right, let's go through this real quick. So it's been a long time since we've done crafts. Craft stuff for us in 2020, 2021 was kind of like what our business eBay started with. I think this is actually a really good thing. So these are going to be individual colors. They're going to have different labels. People will use these for like cross stitching, needle crafting. So yeah, this is a huge bag right here. All right, but yeah, this I could do like little lots of similar colors. I'm gonna want to put like the identification numbers because a lot of these crafts will have like, it's almost like a paint by number, but think like, you know, craft by thread right there. So yeah, this stuff is probably really good. It's been a long time since I listed it, so I don't know how good or bad this is, but my initial opinion is like, ooh, this is gonna be like very good. We're gonna do super well with this. I do love the craft stuff. We haven't found much recently. It also, like, the jig was up at some point and people around us starting picking up all the craft stuff, and then we couldn't find it cheap anymore. All right, next up is going to be this. So this is World in Flames, the final edition, Global Conflict, 1939 to 1945, right over there. I've never gotten this board game before. It did have a note from the previous owner, and they said something like wrong game, wrong components right here. So I am probably going to part this out. So I'm going to show you guys the back. Always be careful when I flip these over. So yeah, this is going to be like, people love the strategy and war games that recreate stuff. So yeah, this is like a Australian design group. Really cool. I like it. Never played this one. So let's go ahead and see what we have in here. Like I said, I'm expecting like completely something random. This seems fine. This is the rules booklet. I'm not sure if this is like a printed one where someone did a hole punch right there. So yeah, I'll have to actually look up to see if this looks legit. It might have just been someone like hole punch them, or it comes like this. So I'm gonna look up like a complete game online before I don't want to like list someone's printed rule book. I don't even know if you can do that. I don't want to like, you know, basically list something that someone made. Looks like you have a bunch of the tokens in baggies. How I deal with these is to kind of just put them all together. I list them like so the person can see every single token that they're getting. I will say the number right there. So I'll probably list these right here. I'll probably list like the loose ones together as like replacement pieces for this game. And then these sheets, I'll probably, oh, this doesn't look too incomplete, but I guess I don't know, they had a note that this was not complete or from a different game. It says the thing right there. I'll probably list this sheet as World in Flames USA. This is counter sheet 1 right there. So I'll probably list that separately. Then there's counter sheet 2. I do pretty well because like, starting to like catch on and pop off. See, these things are really delicate. I'm gonna put these together later on. I know it's annoying. So yeah, I'm gonna put that right there. That's just how they are. I do my best to keep these flat when storing them. I will list this as an incomplete. This is the USSR sheet right here. front 3. There's some China pieces here. China's probably the yellow one right there. We have this Italy, France sheet right here. So yeah, like I said, just because the previous owner wasn't sure what they had here, I'm going to list all these sheets separately. This is pretty cool. This is like a pretty complete. I'm sure that this game would be pretty expensive or decently priced if fully complete. So this right here is another sheet. So I could always also try to line up some of these with these if I want. I will like briefly think about it. Got some dice with the game, but like almost sometimes dice can just go separately when I'm like separating it, because these are D10 dice with white dice, black pips. They're not pips, they're just the numbers. That's kind of just a classic World in Flame sequence of play. So I can put this probably separately. Tables, people can buy tables. Maybe I can put them all 3 together. What is this? This almost looks like a update. Maybe the person added an update into their game. So maybe I'll look it up to see if this is like actually in there and try to separate it. Oh, this looks like a map right there. So I do look up to see if there's like expansions, promos. Here's another map. This is very good condition. I'm going to open it up to make sure that there's nothing in the middle, you know. There's the Western Europe, the Pacific. That's pretty good. We got this right over here. Yeah. So yeah, this is probably going to be like parted out, even though it looks complete. I've had issues with these games where I'm like, I'll say something like, you know, look at the pictures. It looks pretty good to me. There might be missing stuff. And then I get like more returns than I once, because people would be like, oh, I thought it just was like a brand new game. And I'm like, oh, I had 24 pictures. I showed everything. Painful. So yeah, I'll probably just part this out. Box probably separately. Maybe I'll put a couple things together, like a couple of rule books or a couple of the token sheets. Moving along, we have a bunch of like board game bits and pieces. I just kind of listed a bunch, so I like to change up what I'm doing. So I'd rather do all these like rule books and stuff. So let's go ahead but let's see what we have here. These are really bits and PCEs, Reese pieces, I guess, like right here. A lot of this stuff. Oh, I do know what some of this stuff is. Let's pull it out for you guys right over here. This is hilarious. This is I get really cool stuff sometimes, but I also get really random stuff. So yeah, we got this right over here. Oh, this is painful. Like a lot of this stuff I have to organize. We're gonna go through it together. Hopefully everyone's going to enjoy this. This normally takes me like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes without recording it. Recording it is going to take a little bit longer. Oh yeah, I forgot about these. Oh, this box, I guess I did slightly go through this at some point. I forgot. I do like, I don't know, whenever I have like 10 minutes at nighttime, I'm not like doing anything super important. I'm not playing a video game. I'm just like, what am I doing with my life? I just organize something real quick. All right, so we got this. We got these. Oh no, it got bent. The Shadow Sorcerer. Got all of this right over here. That is the last bit of pieces right there. Let's go ahead and go through it. All right, we got these right here. Looks like a bunch of Wargaming hex terrain tiles. People always love replacements for this. You see water, beach, grass, forest. So yeah, I'll figure out what game these go to, but this will usually be one lot. We have some pieces to like one of these war games right here. Really like small amount of pieces. I don't know if this is complete or incomplete. There's usually like small expansions to board games. So I'll look it up. I'll lay them all out, try to figure out. So like this tower piece is probably the way I'm going to identify where this is from, like what game these chits are from. The chits are a lot harder because they have like stats and numbers of like what tank and stuff they are. Next up, we have these cards. I don't know what this is right here. It says, oh, this up here, my cat's making noise. She loves to crinkle the, just like any kind of papers and bags she can find. It's like her hobby. Rise of the Rune Lords. I remember hearing that name before. So yeah, these are a bunch of cards to that. Probably easy to list right here. I don't think I've ever played this game. This looks unfortunate because this got bent in the storage box. This looks pretty vintage. It says, oh, it's a Dragonlance card from 1996 TSR right here. Dragonlance is those books. I can still flatten this out and still list it. It just, unfortunately, I'm going to have to list it as like basically nearly damaged right there. I'll take a ton of pictures to show that this is damaged. Unfortunately, this got crunched. This might not be worth anything. Like I said, this is just like a first glance. Right here, we have Munchkin. Right there, that's a Munchkin character. This looks like it's going to be tiles for, there's hundreds of Munchkin products, but I'm going to go with, this is going to be from the Munchkin Dungeons, just because I don't recognize it and I never played Munchkin Dungeons. I think it turns it more into a board game than just a card game. This right here can be super good. This is probably from a Warhammer board game, miniature game, or some kind of old vintage one like a Hero Quest or something. This looks like junk maybe to some people, but this is probably going to be very good. even as like 4 little terrain pieces. It's really hard to find a lot of this vintage board game stuff at some point. Next up, we have these. These looks like some kind of promos. Myth Horde right here. It looks like a little dungeon tiles. It says thank you, so maybe this was like a Kickstarter extra or something. So yeah, I'll look it up. That's probably okay. Right here, we have 2 little chit tokens. See, I could just list these separately. I probably will, and then I'll probably just put like the name that says one attack cap. This says strat detects Soviets. So yeah, who knows if this is supposed to be for like a bigger game or if there's like small little promo pieces for expansions to these games. Right here, we have a thing by this. It says this is an expansion, a full copy of D-Day Dice. This is a little expansion for a board game called D-Day Dice right here by Valley Games. So this looks like a K-Pack Kickstarter special. Kickstarters were board games that were crowdfunded. It's been kind of like a huge deal recently, and in the past 10 years for board games. There's also a lot of like issues and drama with the Kickstarter stuff, but in general, a lot of the Kickstarter promo stuff ends up being worth something to someone. Bunch of little plastic stands. I'm not sure what game they are for, but I'm gonna use my black backdrop to take a picture of these. People will recognize them if they need them, or they'll use them for like RPGs or putting little monsters in their standees. Not everyone uses miniatures. Right here, we have some, looks like some asteroid pieces. I don't know. This could be Warhammer. I'm going to have to look this up later. It shouldn't be too hard. This is like usually an area of effect marker. This is just literally 2 random pieces. Oh, right here. Oh, Ravensburger Board Game Company right there. So it's going to be for a game. Will this be worth listing? I don't know, but I will like there are weird things where they'll be like, oh, this is a promo or a special one. Right here, 2 more tokens. Super random. I think these are from different games. Let's see, right here we have these little plastic. These look like custom acrylic factory pieces for some kind of board game. I'm not sure what game uses factories. I can think of Power Grid, but I don't think they have factories, so I'll have to look this up later. This definitely looks like a custom thing that someone made on like Etsy for someone's upgraded board games, or it could be official. We have this right here. I see the Axis symbol right there. This also looks like it could be a weird like post-apocalyptic like World War II type of game where it's not actually full-on like recreating something and there's gonna be like mech units and stuff. We'll see. I don't recognize this off a glance. Now we have a bunch of these triangles with denotions of numbers all the way up to 10. Probably pretty easy to figure out. It's gonna be some kind of like sci-fi miniature game or sci-fi board game. Next up, we have all these little bullets, cardboard little bullets. These are, oh no, these are little rocket ships. Sorry, I thought they were bullets. My eyes are just really pooping out on me. All right, no idea what board game that goes to. We got these little stat cards. These look interesting to me because they look like more vintage. Like my first thought is like, this is custom. And my second thought's like, no, this is actually, well, maybe if it was custom, it was vintage, like old school. But like, no, this could be in like one of those board games. They used to have like really bad quality components right there, like this. Yeah, I like this stuff because sometimes this stuff can be like huge winners, or there's maybe like very little to none in eBay. So it's just going to sell because someone's going to be like, oh, I need the cards of that board game. Boom, I have them. All right, we have this right here. These are Combat Commander. I don't think I've sold anything from Combat Commander that I can remember. GMT. These are going to be some cards. These are not going to be complete. So there's a weird special thing going on with this. I'm probably going to keep these sleeved. But if I want, these look like the thing was sleeved one time. I can take like, oh, these are perfect fits. I can actually take time to unsleeve these and use these to like ship out other cards in if I'm short on penny sleeves or stuff like that. So I can also like take out the sleeves and list them separately. You have to have good numbers of sleeves in order to usually list them, like 60, 80, 100, something like that. But yeah, I'll probably keep these together. It's just worth noting what I think about when I go through stuff like this. Ooh, right here are packs for Wingspan. Really good game, really popular. I haven't played all the expansions. These just look like they're sealed. So even though these are sealed, I used to just list these as sealed, but I was having problems with people like returning stuff because they'd be like, oh, well, I thought this would be all of the cards for the game and stuff like that. I would take like pictures of every side and stuff to show people like, hey, this is how like thick the pack is. Nowadays, I just open it up, I'll lay out all the cards. I'll mention probably in the description that they're like near mint or like never used. Yeah, so I'm not sure. These look like what expansions. So I know there's expansions. So down right corner, this says North America. So I don't know if that is part of the card. I played this game a bunch with Aneta in 2020. It's been a while. We still have our copy. Right there is EE for maybe the European one, or maybe they just said like where these birds were from. So there are expansion cards. People will pick these up because, one, they have pretty pictures of birds on them. Two, people get cards that are like damaged and stuff and they want replacements. Or maybe they want to mess with their friends and they want to throw in some more of their favorite cards. People like house rule board games. They like to play wacky ways. I've played wacky versions of board games, just like my own made up imagination. Right here, some more like sci-fi, like little blast terrain spots. Probably for a specific board game. I'll look it up. These, I'm not too sure what they are. So they're magnets, but like because I get like board game miniature stuff, these are probably for some kind of use with some kind of miniatures or something. Really cool container. I'll probably just list this as is. So like they're magnets, like I said, like this, which is, but it has this like weird slot. It's almost like you're going to put like a standee right there, and then you're gonna magnetize something else, maybe like the bottom of a base, and then you can like hold it upright. I've never seen this type of magnets for like miniatures or board games or anything like that. So this one I'm gonna try to figure out what it is later on. Really cool pack of them. Right here, we have another D-Day Dice Distinguished Service Pack Kickstarter exclusive. So yeah, this one I will keep sealed, as I was just talking about opening up the Wingspan stuff, because like this says exactly what it is, where these packs are the packs that actually come inside the box of the board game. So they're not meant to have like a denotion of what they are. You just open the Wingspan and then you open up the cards. All right, next up is going to be Dragon of Ice Spire Peak Adventure D&D 5th edition. This is like, I guess it's not new anymore. Oh man, this is from, when is this from? 2019. I guess it has been a bit ago. All right, so yeah, this is a full-on adventure. So you see your maps. The dungeon master can read through everything. They can add in their own monsters. They can do what they want. People get inspired by these. A lot of people just play them as is. These are the monsters that you can throw at the players, like stuff they can deal with, maybe some allies in there. This is a full-on adventure. There's also a preview one that I have. That was like a promotional handout, I think, when this came out. This, I believe, is from like a starter set for Dungeons and Dragons. This is just adventure booklet in it. Still useful. It's not going to be like a crazy price, but someone will pick it up, enjoy it, and use it. Next up, we have these Tesla's tripods, little alien cards. No idea what these are. There was that other thing earlier that said Tesla up there. I know that's like electrical like type of thing. I remember from Red Alert, the Tesla towers. Sorry, that's a random throw in there. But yeah, we'll see where these are from, maybe with the other thing. I randomly got a Twister board right here. This is from 2002. I'm sure there's going to be different editions and versions. It's still pretty good. So yeah, we'll see if this is worth listing. I haven't looked up Twister in forever. But yeah, I'm sure maybe someone will pick this up for a couple dollars. Maybe it's worth more than I think, but I doubt it. All right here is just a pile of random little pieces, literally random. So that's a gun. I don't know what that's from. We have, this is from X-Wing. This is actually like the base of the miniature that has their stats, and there's like a clear hole where you put the miniature on the stand. This, I have no idea what it is. It says Projects Axe. Literally just a bit and piece. This looks like, no, this looks like, can't think of it right now. Crossmaster or, oh my God, it's slipping me. I know what art style this is. It's like an anime dungeon crawler game. I just can't think of it right now. It's actually bothering me, but I have to move on. All right, more of these sci-fi little spaceships. They might go with this. Honestly, I'll maybe look them together. You can see how they kind of have a similar feel, but a lot of sci-fi stuff looks similar to me. All right, more of these. These are probably going to go together. This is going to be a piece for one of the Star Wars games, I believe. It just looks like an eye, some kind of resource token. I can't think off the top of my head, but I think that's a Star Wars game. I just don't know which one. This is a brain token for the Arkham Horror. I might just throw it into the base game that I showed you guys that I had. This is like some cube resources right over there. Sci-fi game. This is actually a hex. This looks junky. This is a green hex for HeroScape. If you get a bunch of these are fine. I usually set aside my individual ones and make lots. Or if I want to sell this for a couple of dollars, and the shipping will be the killer for this one. But if someone like buys other stuff, some of my other HeroScape stuff, they can throw this in, and I combine shipping. So yeah, listing one is pretty rough unless if it's like a special tile, the more rare ones, because there's like lava water, little blood droplet health token. No idea what that's for. This one, I want to say, is this for Vindication or Twilight Imperium? No idea, taking a random guess. I'll have to look it up later. More of these magnets for that box. 50 points, a little resource, victory point thing. Oh, this one's cool. So like, this looks like it could be junky. It's a 5 coin piece, but there's a dragon on it. So there's gonna be a specific board game. If this is like vintage enough, someone might want it. There's a blue backing. Sometimes the Warhammer stuff had blue backing. I'll look into it. Or Dungeon Quest stuff. Dungeon Quest stuff is Hero Quest stuff is really expensive. Right here we have, this looks like someone's handcrafted game, honestly. So like this is also stuff I like. Or what would be cooler is, here, let me pull out some of this. So this looks blown up. So my first thought is handcrafted. Right here, you can just tell by the making of this. And then like the font, or more importantly, this could be a prototype, and maybe not just a prototype, but there are board game companies that go to conventions and they'll have like blown up versions of the game. So when you pass by the table, you can demo the game. They don't have to worry about like their game getting ruined because they bring like a prototype and then they make them enlarged. So it's a more eye catchy when you're passing by the convention. So I will do my best to look into this. So yeah, my guess actually is custom, or this was a prototype for just when like someone orders a game, or this is going to be a demo convention thing. The convention thing would be the coolest because this is unique. Then there's going to be not too many. They probably throw away most of them, so someone got a hold of this. Maybe someone that was like working on the game. This is really cool. All right, next up, I have one more box to go through, so let's just jump right into it. A lot less stuff than the other one. All right, I haven't gone through this box yet, so there's a bunch of looks like rule books and cheats, maybe some updates to some word games. World War III right there, so a made-up, hopefully, board game sheet right there. We got this, Fifth Corps. So these are usually like little rule books that come in like magazines for strategy and tactics, or maybe there are little inserts to board games. I'll look this up later. This is really cool right here. What I have a, sorry, I'm being careful with it. Let's go ahead and be extra careful. Like that. Oh, see, they start to pop out sometimes. A counter sheet for Conquistador counters right there from 1976 simulations, publications right there. So there is a little bit of like damage and dirt on them. That's not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pair that up. I'll see if there's more sheets, but I'm going to pair it up with this map right here, or I can list them separately. I'll probably put them together. It's pretty nice to have this stuff together for the people. All right. Battle for Germany, another little rule book right here. Stuff is a little like dusty. And oh, looks like there's a map for the game. Let's see. This is the map. Like I said, these could be like magazine games. Oh yeah, right here. Battle for Germany, right there. So yeah, these can go together. No tokens for this one. Not a big deal. Someone's still going to want to like replacement boards, maps, and stuff like that. New edition Air War, game charts, tables, aircraft missiles, sequence of play, and stuff like that. People do like these things. Ooh, this is super cool. All right, what is this? Let's see. Darkhorn, The Realm of the Warlords by Tom Cleaver. Let's see. Is this I don't know if this is a previous owner or a signature. I'll make sure to look into it. 1985, a computer program, audiovisual displayed. Oh, interesting. Also, it says something corp down here. So like this might be like a prototype to a rule book. This is actually really cool. Yeah, game designer Tom Cleaver, Walt Brewer, design consultants, Walt Brewer down there. I really like this kind of stuff. This is like a really cool piece of unique board game history. I'll look it up. This definitely looks like they were making a rule book and they wanted this to have like they wanted to like edit it and stuff. Super cool. This is super cool. All right. Right here, we have a letter from them as well. It says Microcomputer Games. Dear Tom, sorry about the delay. Here's something for you to work on. Oh, yeah. So this is like, oh, this is going to be, so yeah, this is the stuff I love. This is like the unique stuff you can buy on eBay. I might pair that up with that. But yeah, it looks like they were like, I'm going to read this all later. I'm not going to bore you guys with 7 paragraphs. All right. But that's a super unique one. We also have another letter right here. A Apple playtest version of Darkhorn. Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, this might be super good right here. We also have this, more of this stuff. Darkhorn player aid cards, all these like stuff to edit. I can probably list them together or separately. I'll have to think about it later on, like who would want these and what pairing would they want. So more letters, communications, earth sign engineering. Oh yeah, this is super cool. Oh, I'm excited for this. Like I said, I haven't gone through this. More letters. They're just communicating about designing this game Darkhorn. I saw like Apple mentioned in there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this says 1986. I wasn't even born. There you go. All right. Avalon Hill, like a receipt right here. Revised version, letter. Super cool. All right. There's a bunch of this stuff. This will be harder to go through in price, but like that's like unique history for a board game or this Apple game. I'm not sure which one. Check that out. Like a hand-drawn map with a grid, old gridded paper. Fortunately has a bend, but it's not a big deal. Darkhorn map. Ooh, there's a little legend. On Hill Company, another letter. Wow. They're talking about the version of Galaxy game right there. That's super awesome. That's the stuff that if no one else has that, I'm going to price it up because it'll be the only one that exists right now. That's from like the 1980s. New edition Air War, another missile and charts little rulebook right here. These are always great for me. They always sell. That one's in good condition. We do have more of this, but there's going to be some counters for them. I'm probably going to do the counters separately. It looks like it says this one's supposed to have 100 pieces. Yeah, these are two separate. Oh, this one's bent. So yeah, two different sheets right there. I could put them together or separately. It almost looks like they're the same type of sheets. And then we have the more rules in play. Air War 1980, additional agenda and rule sections. So like updates for the game. Think like, updates and patches. Same thing, I guess, different condition. Tons of the ease particular game. So yeah, I'm still excited about the letters and stuff back and forth between like designers. That's unique stuff. We have this right here. These are little, I've gotten some of these before. I don't know if we sold them yet. They're little like postcards, and I think they have like little games on them. You send this to a buddy. They cut out the little tokens. They read the text for ants right there, with a magnifying glass. You can then read it, but then you play a little game, which is super cool. Postcard games. Only got one of these recently, haven't sold it yet. And then more rules for the Central Front series, a different game. It might just be like a little booklet. I always have to mention like number of pages, or if there's some missing. It says R1, and it does look like there is some missing. It goes to 2, 3, 4, and then goes to 13. So yeah, there's definitely like a section missing. So I have to be careful and mention that. Take a bunch of pictures. All right, moving along, not a war game, but this is really cool. Time Stories was an interesting board game. I've played them all. It's like I go back and forth in my head if it was a great game or not. So the concept is you're playing time travelers. You go to an area and then you are trying to like usually solve, let's just say like a mystery or something. There's usually a goal. Prophecy of Dragons was a fantasy one. This one was actually one of my favorites right here. This is probably not complete, but the problem with the game is it's like a 2 or 3 hour game, and you'll get to certain points where your game will like save, and then you will run out of, instead of health, you have time in this game because you can only go back in time so much. You only have so much time to go back in time and solve these things. Choices you make matter, but then you have to reset the game to a save point. So the game ends up being like a 4, 5, 6 hour game where you're supposed to memorize stuff. This is actually one of the games where I like cheated some of the base rules just because I thought it was unfun. Usually here, let's see if there's anything in here. This is probably not complete. Oh, this is cool. This is, I don't know how complete this is. Mystery, do not open until you're instructed to. Oh, so this is probably missing this side. They probably played the base game. They probably ran out of time. Like I said, this game takes a lot of time. No joke. Time Stories right there. Really fun story game. But you'll walk into rooms and you lay down these cards face down, and then each player will get to go to a card. And how you're supposed to play is you look at the card yourself and you're supposed to like ambiguously describe it like, oh, I'm fighting some guards, so I'm going to roll some dice. Well, you guys don't know exactly what's happening, but you're right next door. I'm at the marketplace. I'm buying this certain item. So what we ended up doing was just having everyone see the cards. I thought the ambiguous describing just kind of ruined some of the game because then you aren't supposed to show people your cards, but then it feels like you're only seeing like a portion of the game. And it just makes it like take longer than it already did. So cool game. Mixed about it. This expansion was great. So you get the base game. The jail of first story was great. This one was great. You buy expansions. You play like time travelers, and each expansion you go to a different area to solve a different thing. As you can see, this one it says you are in the Middle Ages where magic changed everything. So yeah, like I said, you're gonna have like spells and swords. I'm pretty sure this was the fantasy one, Prophecy of Dragons, right there. This one was awesome. Next up is this, Conflict of Heroes Eastern Front, an expansion to a board game. Unfortunately, I can tell by the feeling of this, it's probably just an empty box. Still good condition. Someone's still probably going to, I need to like wipe it off a little bit. Let's see, yeah, this is just straight up an empty box, but I always look underneath the things because sometimes board games have stuff under there, and other times players will like leave dice and stuff down there, and then people forget sometimes cool promos. And all kind of stuff. So I always check under. So yeah, just an empty box, but this is probably a decently priced one. I haven't seen this before. These war games are usually vintage, and then like, yeah, someone will want a replacement box if their corners get broken. All right, last up is a bunch of little charts here for some kind of board game. Combined arms. Yeah, I'll have to look this up. This doesn't look like it'd be too hard to identify. More sheets. Like I said, I'll put these together. We have this combined. Oh, this is with combined arms right here. Operations, a little small rule book. Let's see. We have a. Oh, Down with the King. This game is not too expensive. It's really cool box art. Tons of cards to count. It's one of those bookcase games. Oh, this looks like someone put a book in a book right there. So yeah, this Down with the King book is probably not too bad. What is this? Operation Whirlwind, the Soviet invasion of Hungary war game. Okay, a Counter-Strike mini game. That's interesting. Doesn't have any chits or anything, but like, cool. Listing within a listing. We have the Conquest of Space. Let me put this. Let me see if there's anything else in this one. This is yeah, this one looks cool, but it's not as exciting. That one I actually know I think we might have like a incomplete version. Oh, this is super cool. What is this by? 1977, Thomas Cleaver. This has like a good feel to it. This is like a weird, I don't know how to describe it. Almost like a matte, like a vinyl. Super cool for vintage. Check that out. And then this is the rule book for it. This might be like a custom thing. This looks super exciting. Yeah, it looks like someone made this on their own. Oh, number 30. Is that a signature? It probably is. Yeah, Thomas Cleaver, number 30. Oh, signed stuff, guys. I love it. This is super cool to me. Super historic. Valuable to someone. If not, even if it's like a cheaper thing, someone's going to appreciate this. That's awesome. All right. We just have a little bit more to go through, and then we're almost done. All right, we have this bursting from the seams. The box is pretty damaged. I don't know if it's salvageable. Someone put like a rubber band on it. Kind of afraid to open these things. It's gonna like shoot up some dust at me. All right. Yeah, I don't know how like salvageable. I might try to sell the box on its own, but like it has some of the corner damage. Okay, so we got the board. Someone tried to tape it at some point. So yeah, it's not like, it's not too bad. I'll probably just like, this is probably not a complete game. I don't know if this was supposed to be taped together, but I'll probably definitely list the two pieces together and show that this is, yeah, this is usable still. It's not like the best. You can see there's some like dirt down there. I don't know how much people care about like the dirt. They can probably easily clean it. Manual, you get these little like extra inserts. I usually throw the extra inserts into like some kind of listing. We got the Third Reich bookmark and map key. I don't know if that's for this game. This game is D-Day. So I have to look that up. We have right here, order of battle sheets right there. Use that to play the game. A bunch of the, oh, someone was playing. This is super cool. So I kind of like learned about this relatively recently. These are things I think you like would mail your friend and play a game over the course of like years. You would mail them your moves for one of these complicated board games. You keep it set up somewhere. Oh yeah, this is super cool. So yeah, I think this person's probably sending their friend a letter of like what moves they did, what's going on. Oh yeah, that's cool. All right, that's super cool. Yeah, so yeah, these would be like mail-in things. I sold some of the mail-in sheets before. We have the instructions, but this looks like photocopied, so I don't think this is legit. Manual is legit right here. Combat result table, people use these. This looks like, is this more of these printed ones? I'm not sure if these, yeah, these are more of like I sold like a huge packet of these, like an actual thick packet of these. Looks like there's no tokens, more maps. So yeah, this might be like have to toss the box just because you can see it's already like ripped open. I'll see like what rule books and stuff to list together, and then the boards probably will be its own listing. But yeah, no chit tokens. Kind of sad, but yeah. There you go. Next up, we have a bunch of these sheets. I have no idea what these are for. It's this little ring right here. Maybe for like an airplane game. Oh, these are like little cards, stat cards. Oh, with like stats of different tanks on them. This is cool. I don't know what game this is for. All right, I'll definitely keep this stuff kind of together. We have this big chart with artillery tables, sighting ranges table. This definitely goes to some kind of board game. I'm just not sure which one. 1988 game card right up there. 1988 command sheets. There's a bunch of them. Yeah, this is kind of like, look at that. There's a bunch of them in here, mostly unused. One more of these cards, just like one. Oh, it's more of these as well. This says medium tank. Oh, I was hoping it would say the board game right there. I'll be able to figure this out. It just takes a little bit of time. Napoleon of Waterloo, rules of play. Maybe that's for this game, but I doubt it. Right there. Napoleon at Waterloo. I think we sold like the board game or something like that before, bits and pieces from it. Battle Order of Appearance for this 1965 Avalon Hill game. All right, got this. Cross of Iron box, pretty good in corners. I actually feel this is heavy, so I'm assuming it's going to have the board in there. So it shows like what it comes with over here. So I'm put it on upside down. Yeah, 520 double printed die cut counters, more vehicle and artillery counters. So there's like over 1,000 counters. I'm assuming this is just going to be the boards. All right, we have some counters. Oh, it looks like there was water damage. So like, that's a shame. I would have to make sure that there's no like mold or anything. Definitely mention that. But like the box is still relatively good. The bottom at least is good. We have tokens here. Oh, these are like unpunched. This is pretty good. Russian vehicles right there. Well, I guess there's like one punch, but like these things are so delicate. We have the charts and tables. Try to keep this together. Yeah, so these boards, I get a bunch of these boards. People like to mix and match. They use them for all sorts of games. So this Cross of Iron has 1, number 2. The earlier the numbers, the more common they are. And then let's see what we have. This is probably number 3. Yeah, it's so sad that the box has this damage, but what are you gonna do? We have this game right over here, GPS. Never seen this one. It says board game tables. Oh, it's a board game table game. They made tables and obviously went into board games in 2020. This is probably missing some pieces. I'll have to check. It says 9 planet, 2 rocket, 2 plastic, 60 satellites. Oh, it might be complete. I'll have to just double check right there. Never heard of this one. Doesn't look too miserable, I guess. This could be like a fun one. I don't see like the plastic stands. No, it definitely looks like it could be missing some stuff. I'll probably just separate the pieces. I'll think about like listing the box, but a 2020 thing is probably not too worth it. If anything, the box itself would be like a couple dollars if I want. All right, Disney Sorcerer's Arena, Epic Alliances. I just remember this game being popular, never played it. This is going to be by the Monopoly Company, the OP games right there. Definitely feels like, okay, there's some characters, there'll be standees and some cards. Doesn't seem like it's complete, but you can still sell. Oh, this is an expansion. Sometimes expansions are more expensive than the base game. Usually, like, it depends on, all right, something to scan there. Character cards, like the actual characters. Got Skeleton Jack there, or Jack Skeleton. Got these cards too. And then it looks like there's some bits and pieces. All right, it looks relatively complete. It's going to be really easy to go into the rule book to see, oh yeah, right here. Like I said, this might be a tough task for someone. I can absorb this in like milliseconds and then just lay everything out, see if it's there. But yeah, someone who's not used to opening board games, dealing with them, it would take them a long time to count. I always, like I said, check underneath. I've found crazy stuff underneath board game boxes. It's not even always board game stuff. You can find literally anything. You never know what someone's going to put under there. All right, like that. Last thing, never heard of this one. This looks kind of, I'll be nice, it looks a little janky. This is not my art style. Castle Dice, I do like dice. So the cool thing is going to have 64 custom dice. This is going to be like painful to ship just by that. This might not be complete. I don't really know this game, designed by Luke Peterschmidt right there. Go ahead and see this. All right, so even if this is not complete, there is some cool stuff, right? So you got the custom dice, even if someone doesn't use them for the game. These are actually pretty decently quality dice right there. They have like an engraving on them, which is a lot of fun. It's not going to get like too messed up. You got the pieces, got some cards, tokens for the game. These are pretty cool because Magic the Gathering players, when they get back into Magic and Pokemon, they like to use the old school counters. They don't like to use the dice because this is what you used to use back in like the 90s and early 2000s, was like little counters, not dice. But dice got more popular now. Rulebook, which is going to actually, was there no, oh, sorry. I thought there was some like nastiness. I felt something. I'm like, I got to be careful. It's just like a rat ate not a rat. So yeah, someone ate something, probably like a dog. I can see them being excited for this. All right, boards. This might be pieced out if it's not complete. Yeah, the killer for this is going to be the weight. It's a little bit weighty, but this is like a really poorly designed I don't mean to pick on this particular game. This is a poorly designed like box, you know, like look at how much like open space. It was just unnecessary. This is it could have been like this small. There was a weird thing in the board game industry where like bigger was better. So like yeah, people were designing these big boxes because there is a weird thing in the industry where someone passes by a game like this and they kind of get like an idea in their head like, oh, this is gonna be a simple game, it's not gonna be as complex or something as a bigger game. Board gamers are really interested in how they think about this stuff. But yeah, board game companies do a bunch of different tactics to try to counteract how board gamers think about the size of a box rather than like how the quality of the game is. But yeah, this I can tell should not have been this big. All right, that's everything. So yeah, my original goal going into all this stuff was I wanted to list all this at least in one day, maybe two, but now going through it might take like 2 days just because there's a lot of like the cool little manuals and the notes between the people about the game they designed, some science stuff. I do have to count a little bit of pieces, but that's really easy for me. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hope everyone's having a good weekend.